As a remote worker, I tend to underappreciate the fact that I save about 2 hours a day on commutes. That sums up to about 50 hours a month and over 500 hours a year. I had gone through the stage where I was feeling completely lazy and disorganized. It all started with not having to leave home early to catch the first train or avoid the traffic, and not having to pack my lunch with me. I'm a very lazy human being if I don't push myself a bit. One moment I let myself enjoy that morning without that extra sense of urgency, and next thing I know, I'm enjoying my morning till the noon. And that's especially hard when the rest of the team that I work with don't clock in until like 3 or 4 p.m. my time. This results in starting work later, obviously, and then, as a result, canceling that evening yoga class or, the drink with a friend because you haven't finished tasks. You work till midnight and you sleep over the next day, and that becomes your vicious circle. That felt like a paradox. I don't have to spend those 2 extra hours on going to the office, but at the same time, I don't feel like I have enough time and I'm not doing anything meaningful outside of work. This might sound like a confession, and I'm actually really glad that I'm recording this video in English because I wouldn't want my parents to hear this, but at some point, I even felt like I didn't have enough time to shower or call my parents. That sounds ridiculous, but that was my reality at that time, and if you're feeling this way right now, I'm really sorry for you, and I hope you will, go over this pretty soon, and I hope something that I'm sharing today will, kind of help you do it faster. You see, at some point in my life, I was traumatized by a job that required me showing up on time to a bus of 50 people waiting for me to take them on a guided city tour. And I would wake up in the middle of the night just because I was afraid to miss that alarm. So after that, I needed some kind of a job that wouldn't require this level of responsibility and would allow me to recover from that experience. And I think I have been able to do so with the remote jobs that I've been doing for the past 6 years. But after having worked for a few years remotely, I started feeling like I needed that healthy level of stress in order to stay focused, efficient, and disciplined. On the days that I don't have anything planned outside of work, I tend to spend the entire day working, meaning like from dusk to dawn, basically 12-14 hours of time. And I can put in a few extra hours, right? Because I don't have anything planned in my personal life. But at work, there's always things to do, and I don't feel pressure to wrap up my work fast. As a result of that, I allow myself to get distracted by my family, by social media. I kind of, stretch the work throughout the entire day, and it feels the entire day. Meanwhile, I'm kind of losing focus, start making mistakes, and I don't enjoy that. So I kind of figured out that I have to be doing something for myself outside of work every single day in order to stay focused, motivated, and efficient, both at work and in my personal life. If I don't do anything meaningful and if I don't document that, the odds are that my brain will just erase the memory of that and just replace it with something more exciting I did the next day.
I don't remember that.
And I will keep wondering what I wasted that time on and will blame myself for, not doing anything good and memorable and probably just scrolling through the newsfeed. It's just like with money, where I gotta do planning and keep the records of my spendings. Otherwise, I just feel like I run out of money and I don't know what I spent them on. The same with time. This is how I came up with the idea of instead-of-commute projects for myself, where I basically share publicly what I've done today or what I'm going to do for a specific period of time as a project instead of going to the office. Because I work remotely, I would like to invest the time that I would otherwise spend on commuting into doing something meaningful. I can do something that is gonna make my life better or help me enjoy my life better or do something good for the world. Here are a few examples of some of the projects that I have already done or completed. So for example, this past summer I tried doing yoga for a month every morning. That was kind of fun and kind of got me pumped and disciplined and kind of craving that exercise every day. At some point I spent over a half a year helping my parents build their small craft store on Etsy. I helped my dad to learn to work with leather. I would research some of articles for him on how to work with it, how to choose tools for it. We would place orders and stuff like that, choose the tools. And for my dad, who's never worked with leather, I was pretty amazed that he was able to get himself to the point where he could make such neat things as this passport holder that he made for me that can hold up to 3 passports. And we even made a small logo for our small firm. That's kind of cool. And at the same time, I was helping my mom to learn to sell her works online, and together we even sold things internationally to Washington, US, and Norway. While working on this Instead of Commute project with my parents, I realized that I love bringing the ideas that live in my head to life. For example, while working with my mom, we designed and made this laptop case that's amazing because it can hold both my laptop and my iPad in here, and it has the specific lining that I wanted. It has like this cute little logo of our family craft store. Can you focus? There you go. I love it because it's also like water resistant. More recently, this past summer, I spent about 2 months traveling in Turkey. I went all the way from Fethiye up north to Istanbul while working remotely, and I would bus hop and Airbnb hop in my off-work hours. I would meet locals and explore the locations that I had been wanting to visit for quite a long time. And that was an amazing experience because I had never spent such a long time in Turkey. I got to see a few different places, meet a lot of people, and it was a solo traveling experience, which I hadn't done for a long time as well. And I might even make a separate video about that later on. My current Instead of Commute project is getting prepared for a driving test here in Georgia because my Russian driver's license have expired, and I need to go back to Russia to renew them, which obviously I don't want to do. So I decided, to kind of revise the theory and like learn the local rules and, take some practical lessons because I haven't driven for quite some time and I have forgotten everything and I don't know how to drive any longer. So yeah, I'm taking lessons both in theory and practice. It's been now for like a month that I'm doing this. It takes me about like 2-3 hours daily, and it's a lot of time and effort, and I'm hoping to pass the exam, which is on Monday, on the 14th. The reason why I'm recording this video is because previously I've recorded an Instagram reel explaining the concept of Instead of Commute projects, but a few of my followers have said that, they weren't able to hear me speak because the track that I use as a background music is kind of restricted in their location, and they were not able to hear me speak at all, which is sad. So I decided to do like a kind of full format video to explain the concept in more detail, and I hope this helps. I'm using a properly licensed track this time, so hopefully you can hear me all right. Yeah, if you work remotely with this video, I challenge you to start using the time you save in commuting to do something meaningful. I started this Instead of Commute project trend, if you will, to hold myself accountable for how I spend the time that I save not having to go to the office every day, and I challenge you to join it. And I'm looking forward to learn what your current Instead of Commute project is. Let me know in the comments below, and for now, bye. I guess on the check might be cross-continental, but diamonds are the girls' best friends.